showing you a way to test the glute firing pattern within the RPR system. Now, with this pattern, you're going to be able to tell your athletes if they see if their athletes are dysfunctional with their glute firing pattern, and then also to test, hopefully have an intervention to treat them, and then come back and see if it's the correct pattern that they're using. Now, the method we use to test, obviously we're trying to test the correct pattern, and we feel that the correct pattern is the glute fires first, the same side hamstring, and then the contralateral QL. Now, if you want to check on why this pattern is important, you can look at the triphasic training glute dysfunction pattern on YouTube video that I posted, and you can see why this pattern is important. Now, again, the correct pattern is the glute fires, hamstring fires on the same side, contralateral QL. There's two other patterns, and it can start with the two other muscles. Basically, the hamstring will start the hip extension, then the QL, and then the glute. And then the other pattern is the QL starts hip extension, the hamstring then fires, and then the glute. Now, if the QL starts, then the hamstring, then the glute, this athlete has a tight lower back, tight lumbar area, and their back often will lock up when they do long extended bouts of conditioning or training. Then the other pattern was the hamstring, QL, glute, and what happens here is that this athlete has a tendency to have hamstring pulls, and their hamstrings are fairly tight. If you can change that, many of these problems will alleviate. Now, here's how we test it. So you take your finger and your thumb, and you will put those on the glute and hamstring. So the thumb will go on the glute, and then the finger on the hamstring. Make sure you check with your athlete to see if this is okay. Then you'll take your thumb or finger and put it on the contralateral QL. Now, what you'll tell the athlete to do is just use a straight leg and raise their leg up. Ready? Go. And you're checking to see the sequencing order in which the glute, hamstring, and QL fire. Now, here's the catch with the test. You can't tell your athlete what you're doing because the athlete can consciously change this pattern. So let's say they have a dysfunctional pattern. You want to send them into the workout, then consciously change that workout or change the pattern in the workout to tell them to focus on firing their glute first, because the athletes will often pull from their back or their hamstrings to start hip extension. Now, what you'll need to do then is, remember, not tell the athlete what you're doing. Now, let's say an athlete just picks up on that over time that you're testing. What you can do is you can actually go back to the test, and then on cueing, you can tell the athlete to pick the leg up straight. Ready? Up, down, up, down, up, down. And what will happen is they may eventually switch to their natural pattern. So you'll be able to say, hey, you still don't have it. We're still working on that, correcting that pattern. Now, obviously, we could use a couple series and points in the RPR method to fix this pattern right away, which we often do if you understand the RPR system. So in summary, remember to check the pattern, see if we can get a change with it, and then obviously retest over time, but to see if you can get an instant change with the RPR system would be the most optimal thing to do.